Hi, this is Marcel of Strong for Life, and I'm here today with my wonderful model, Aushra, who's going to be my guinea pig and my demo for showing you how we're going to train and stretch the piriformis muscle. Now, this has been a video that's been long awaited, and I've seen a lot of people recently with this condition, which gives quite debilitating pain in around the glutes and potentially down the leg as well, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is talk a little bit about the anatomy of it, and I'm gonna use Aushra as my example of that. So if you can spin around for me, because we do need to look at the bottom. And the piriformis muscle originate or insert, shall we say, on the head of the femur here, or the trochanter, shall we say, and then comes round and inserts right at the base of the spine here near the coccyx, okay? And it travels in this direction underneath the glute muscle. So the glute muscle is the large one, and underneath it, they've got the piriformis muscle. Now that muscle is responsible for abduction of the leg with a bit of external rotation. So if you do that action like that, exactly, and again, bring your foot out and rotate there like that. Good. Now that's if we were to isolate that muscle specifically, but it gets involved with everything that you do with your legs downwards. So walking, running, cycling, it will support it. Now, if that muscle gets irritated, it can actually put pressure on the sciatic nerve, which then can give you radiating pain right down your leg, all the way to the little toe. And it's quite uncomfortable and quite debilitating. So what I wanted to do today is I'm going to show you with Aushra a series of exercises that you can do to first strengthen the muscle, and then you can stretch the muscle. And by doing that, you're going to be able to prevent a lot of problems that can potentially happen and prevent back pain and leg pain as well. So let's get into it and do our first exercise. Right, so what we're going to do first of all is we're going to do the clamshell movement, which is very simple, very straightforward. So if you can lie, please, facing me on your right side. That's it, good. Knees are bent, hips are bent, ankles stay together. Okay, now this is a great warm-up exercise to get into this, and all we're doing is separating the knees. So if you lift up that knee, keeping the ankles together, and then lower it back down again. Continue the movement. You're going to take about 2 seconds to go up, hold for 1 second, and back down again. And that's the action. It's literally the clamshell, bringing the leg up, holding for 1, and then lowering it back down nice and smoothly. And that's really, really good to start activating the piriformis and the gluteal muscles. It's very difficult just to do one, but you're definitely going to be able to target those really, really well. Again, always going to be 15 to 20 until you start to feel a bit of a burn, okay? And of course, you're going to want to do both sides. Let's do the next one. Right, so now we're going to do the next exercise, which is really, really good at targeting these smaller muscles. So Aushra, if you can go on all fours with your head here, feet this way. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to be doing what's called a pigeon pose, but it's a modified one. If you can bring your left knee to the center of your chest, and don't bring your ankle in just yet, just bring your knee into the chest as well. There we go, good. Now, straighten the rear leg out and lower down. That's it, good. And we go down. And now, all I want you to do is drive your knee into the table and bring your torso upright. Exactly, just like that. And then down again. Keep this leg straight, but let it rub against the bed, and then coming back up. That's it, and back down. Lovely. Now this at first seems like a very easy, simple exercise, but eventually as you start to continue, this is surprisingly tiring on the small muscles within the glutes. If you change legs for me. Again, the other leg now goes underneath, and we can see it in the mid-chest, and then driving the knee into the bed and coming upwards. That's it, good, just like that. And that is activating the glute really, really well, and the piriformis really nicely as well. Again, 15 to 20 of these, or at least until you feel a good burn deep into the glute muscle. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to do our third exercise, which is called a fire hydrant. So if you go head this way and legs this way, and we're going to be again on all fours, so we can transition very easily from these movements. And what I want you to do is just lifting the left knee outwards towards the wall away from you. But at the same time, that's very important, we also want to bring the ankle, good, and then bringing it back down again. So we lift the knee out, same leg, bring it down, and then bring it up. Good. And the important thing here is that she's bringing the ankle out with the knee. If you demonstrate what it would be like to leave the ankle behind, that's a much easier movement to do because you can recruit stronger muscles. If you keep the ankle out with it, it's much harder and you'll feel it more isolated. Is that true? Yeah, good. So that's a really good exercise. Again, 2 seconds to come up, 1 second hold, 2 seconds back down, and then we're talking about 15 to 20 times as well. Okay, so fantastic. Let's do the next one. And finally, so what we're going to do now is a lying down leg lift. So this time, if you can put your head here, you can pop your head on the pad. The top leg is going to remain straight, the bottom leg remains bent and provides support. So you want to keep your body in a nice straight line. And what you're going to do is you're going to lift the leg nice and straight, but you want to point your big toe to the ceiling as you lift that leg. So if you come back down again, we don't want to roll the hips. The temptation is to roll the hips back. We don't want to do that. Keep the hips forward and externally rotate and lifting up. Good. And then back down. And continue doing that for me, please. And again, if you find that you can get your leg very high, then you're using your hip flexors, okay? And that's the incorrect movement that we want. Again, it's a good movement, but what we want to target are the muscles at the back of the body here in the piriformis, okay? And you shouldn't be able to go that high if your leg is externally rotated, because it's going to literally be blocked from going too high, and you're going to feel it really pinching in there. Is it starting to warm up? Yeah. So it's a really good exercise. Again, we're going to want to do both sides, 15 to 20 reps. You're going to feel this burn, particularly if you've done the previous exercises before. Excellent. She's on it. Good. All right, let's do the next one. Okay, so final exercise to really hit the glutes and the piriformis muscle is we're going to be doing hip bridges or hip thrusts. So it's one and the same thing. So what I want you to do is if you lie on your back, head this way. We're going to do dual leg and single leg as well to demonstrate. So both legs together. What you're going to do with the hip width apart, so there's a bit of space between the knees. All you're going to do is lift your hips and pelvis off the bed. Good. Nice straight line all the way down here. And pausing for 2 seconds and then lowering back down. We want the heels to be digging into the floor, so that's very important. And we want to be elevating as much as we can. Don't do this if you've got lower back pain. Make sure you get that checked out. But otherwise, this is a great exercise to strengthen your lower back and to work your gluteal muscles and the piriformis, which is a super deep muscle as well. So this is both legs together, relatively easy depending on your fitness level. Now to amplify it, we can do single leg. So we're going to do one at a time. One leg goes straight, heel gets pushed into the bed, and then we thrust up, lifting like so. Good, and then back down. And that is noticeably more difficult because, of course, one leg is doing it. Now, where this is very useful is if you've got a muscle strength discrepancy, then it makes a huge difference in relation to the power that you can put into it and when you fatigue. If you find that one leg is fatiguing much faster than the other, then you can start to tell that there might be a muscular difference there. Okay, that's fantastic. Again, 15 to 20, and then we're going to move into the stretches now. Let's do it. Right, so now we've done our strength exercises. The muscle should be nice and warm. It's obviously been stressed a little bit, and now, if we can, we want to stretch it. Now, you can do these stretches whenever you like, anytime you've done some physical exercise. So if you've been for a walk, you've been for a bike ride, you've been swimming, you've been in the gym, you can do these stretches to specifically target this muscle, and it would be a very, very good idea to incorporate all, if not some of them, okay? So we're gonna first of all start out with a really deep stretch, which is if you go into a pigeon pose for me, please. Head this way, feet this way. So pigeon pose is a yoga pose, and it's very, very useful. Now, crucially, before you drop down too quickly, come back up, the ankle has actually dropped inside and is underneath the other hip. So if you've got a dodgy knee or a weak knee, be very careful with this one. But if otherwise, you can do it. Put yourself in a position where your knee comes forward under your chest and your ankle is under the other hip, if not beyond it, if you've got the range of motion. Then, if you now sink into it, as you can tell, Asha's done this before. She's very good at it, but what this will now do with this leg here, it will internally rotate at the femur, and that's going to really pull on her gluteal muscle, okay? So if you come up and spin round and go the other way, just so we demonstrate it. Up. Foot goes under the opposing hip, and then we get a really nice stretch through this area as well. And what you want to do is bring your torso down. If you can bring it towards your thigh, even better. If you can bring it on the inside of your thigh and bring your body beyond like Austra is, that's going to even increase the stretch even further. So an absolutely fantastic stretch for the piriformis here. Okay, and of course, we're going to want to do both sides, so we won't show that, but we'll promise you that Austra will do it on both sides. Okay, so the next exercise is going to be lying on the back. So these are all variations of fairly similar movements. They're just different ways of doing something similar, and you can use them in different environments as well. So some are more suitable than others. So that was the pigeon pose. Now we're going to do lying on the back, internally rotating the knee. So if you lie on your back with your head this way. Good. What we're going to do is we're going to put the right ankle on top of the left knee, like so. And then you're going to bring your hands either side of your left thigh and pull your knee towards you as best you can. That's fantastic. Now, because the ankle is on the knee, of course, we're rotating through the pelvis, and there we can feel a big stretch on the piriformis. Really, really good one. This is called a hip opener as well. To amplify this slightly, you want to bring your knee away from you, so you can use your elbow like Austra did in that case, or you can actively push your knee away from you, like that, as you bring this knee towards you, so you're going to feel that even more. And again, stretches, we always want to be holding these for 15 to 30 seconds on each side. So if you switch over now, and we demonstrate the other knee goes on the other side, we grab the behind the knee, and we pull it in. Try and bring this knee away from you. This knee comes towards your chest. Really good stretch, very, very useful, both for men and women. Very important to mention that this is all applicable for men and women as you have the same musculoskeletal structure. Okay, fantastic, good. Let's do the next one. Right, so the next stretch is going to be in a seated position, and this is something that you can do literally anywhere. You've been out for a walk, you're not going to get back in the car, you want to stretch first, that's always a good idea. Take a seat on the edge of the couch. Very similar to the previous exercise, you're going to put your ankle on your knee, like so. But the key crucial thing about this position is that immediately, if you can put yourself into this position, that's a good thing. But to hit the stretch on the left side, because it's the left ankle that's on there, Austra needs to keep her back straight and hinge forward from the hips. So it's very important she doesn't round in the back, but actually keeps the back straight and comes forward, and then she'll really feel it. If she rounds in the back, it's going to take the pressure off the muscle, and it's not going to be the same. Okay, really good, lovely. Change legs for me, just the demo. That's it, and hinging forward, really nice. Nice back straight, or straight back, and then hinging at the hips there, which really hits the spot in the inner thigh, or the gluteal muscle. Fantastic. Good. Okay, and the final one, which is a variation of that one, which hits the spot really well, is going to be a standing pose for the same thing. So if you can stand up for me, and if you go ahead and put your one ankle on the other knee, you're going to be in a semi-squat position, so the hip goes backwards, and the further she sinks into that dip by bending the leg that she's standing on, you're going to feel that even more in the target area, which in this case is the right leg or the right hip, is the piriformis that we're stretching. If you just change over so we can see that. Good, very nice. And that's exactly what we want. A nice straight back, putting all the weight on the foot, on the floor, of course, a slight bend in the knee, and bringing the hips backwards as well in order to really stretch the piriformis muscle. Okay, good. Take a seat for me. Excellent. So those are all the exercises and stretches that I would recommend if you find you've got imbalance, pain, discrepancy. But remember, if you have reoccurring pain, always get it checked out first. It doesn't make sense for you to try and stress an area that is either overly weak, potentially damaged, or there's a significant imbalance that you need to identify. If you're not sure, come to us, check it out, we'll prescribe, we'll treat, and then let you get on with these exercises. But otherwise, if you're a physically healthy person, absolutely incorporate these activities into any form of training, whether you're a runner or a cyclist or a CrossFitter or any of those sports. All of these will complement what you're doing from the power of the hips really, really well. If you like what you've seen, please put a comment below, let us know. Obviously, share this widely. If you want to come to visit us here in the amazing Calahonda in southern Spain, we'd love to see you. And obviously Alshra is our onboard personal trainer, and I'm a physical therapist. So if you need any help in that regard, just let us know. But until the next video, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye for now. God, you were so chatty.